Hey, welcome back. Let's recap. So this is what we did in the last video, right? So we declared counters, 8 counters, one for every buy button, and also we used those in the if statements inside this action performed method. So if the gluten button buy button for the gluten free pizza is clicked, so you increment that button by one. And if the buy button for the quattro pizza is clicked, you increment the counter by one, and so on and so forth. So every time you click a button, a buy button, and the number of quantity is updated, so we can display the number of pizza type, the number of times the buy button for that pizza type is clicked. We would see it here in this section, in this quantity column. That's the purpose of the counter, right? Because we want to know how many times the quantity, right? How many times the buy button is clicked for every pizza type. Okay, so another thing that we need to do is the price. We need to write here, or to print the price for every pizza type, right? And of course the overall total. Anyway, so for example, I clicked gluten-free pizza buy button twice. So how much shall we see in this particular section? So 34 times 2, that's 68, right? So we need to update the total, the price for every pizza type, yeah? So we need to declare another set of variables for that. So I'm gonna declare 8 more variables. And this time I'm gonna use a double data type, because this is amount of money. The amount of money has 2 decimal places usually, most of the time, right? So I'm gonna declare 8 variables of type double, and that is for the 8 prices, one for every pizza type. So I'm gonna declare one for the gluten-free pizza. So I'm gonna call it total gluten. So of course we need to clean the memory space, so make sure it's initialized to 0. So I'm gonna do this 8 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the next is, I'm gonna name it quattro. And then the third one, I'm gonna name it barbecue. The fourth one, I'm gonna name it pepperoni. And then the fifth, I'm gonna name it buffalo. Then this one, I'm gonna name it chicken. The second to the last, I'm gonna name it meat lover. Sorry. Then the last but not least, I'm gonna name it total Hawaiian. Okay, so we are done declaring 8 variables of type double. So if you notice, all the zeros here are underlined, so we need to put decimal here, because we declared these variables double, so we need to initialize them also with decimal. Okay, so we need to be consistent. We need to be more consistent. So I'm just gonna copy and paste much faster. Okay, now what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to update these variables every time that button is clicked. So again, let's go back to the action performed, because this is where the action happens, right? So if the buy button for the gluten-free pizza is clicked, so we implement the counter by 1, and also we must update the price of that variable. How do we do that? So how much is the gluten-free pizza? Gluten-free pizza is $34. So we have to add $34 to that, right? $34. That's how to update it. Or how to do this in a shorter way. What is the shorter way of doing this? Since we have since the left side of the equal sign is the same as the right side of it, so we just use the plus equal, the short circuit, the shorter version. So in other words, every time the buy button for the gluten-free pizza is clicked, we increment the counter by 1 and we add 34 to this variable, right? So let's try to print the value of the variables every time we click. So I'm gonna print the gluten just to make sure this is correct. Let's test it. Total gluten. I'm gonna print the values of these variables just to test if this is correct. Okay, are you ready? Let's run it. Okay, take a look at the console. Okay, so here is the gluten-free pizza buy button. So I'm gonna click it now. So what do you see? So there's one pizza order, and the price that the customer has to pay is $34, which is correct, right? 34 per piece. And I'm gonna click it one more time. Now the counter has been incremented by 1, so the counter now is equal to 2. Yes, this is correct, 2, because I clicked the buy button twice. And the total price, look at the price now, it's 68. It's correct because 34 times 2 is 68. So far so good, right? So I'm gonna click the buy button for the gluten-free pizza for the 3rd time. So look at the counter, it's now equal to 3, which is correct because I clicked the buy button 3 times now, right? And the total amount to be paid by the customer is updated to 102. That is correct because 68 plus 34 is 102, or 34 times 3 is 102, which is correct, right? So it shows that our code is correct. So you have to do this. You have to update the price for every buy button. So if the buy button for the Quattro pizza is clicked, so what total variable should we update? Is it total Quattro? Yes, it is. So how to update this? How much shall we add to this variable? How much per piece is Quattro for Maggi? It's $13.99. $13.99. So we have to add 99 to that variable, and so on and so forth. So you have to continue. I'm gonna leave these to you for now. Okay, and in the next video we're going to continue with other stuff. Okay, so goodbye for now, see ya.